If you are expecting a story containing skinwalkers or some other weird paranormal entity anally raping me, then I will have to disappoint. I have told this story only once and still nobody believed me. Be me. 5 to 6 years ago. Start lurking in /x/ because I had a passing interest in orbs, and a thread was one of the first results on Google. Always believed to some degree that the world had a covert paranormal nature and it was not just what people accept it is. The stories people say here range from the plausible to the absolutely ridiculous. I'm hooked. 3 to 4 months pass by. Lurking on /x/ daily, reading through anything I see, and searching for relevant sources to stuff I find interest in. Sometimes I catch glimpses of shadows on the corner of my eyes, when it is nighttime. It is like something dark is moving, but always out of reach of my eyes. I must be really sleepy. After some time, when I get on the bed to sleep, I can feel that something is there in the room with me. Too afraid to actually open my eyes to check. If I ever find the courage to do so, don't see anything, but still feel that something is close to me. I am beyond shit my pants scared with the whole situation. Happens more and more often. It's Christmas holidays. Go to my parents' home, because UNI is closed for the period and I wanted to see friends from my hometown. I share a room with my brother, and I didn't have any problems at all before sleeping. Maybe I was just being crazy. Go out with friends but, friend A had some work to do, so couldn't come. Holidays were close to ending. We haven't met in a long time, so A invites me to his home so that we can talk freely and catch up. A lives on the more secluded parts of the town, high up on a hill. I may say town, but it is actually more of a big village. We have lots of nature around and you can go anywhere you want on foot. Meet with A. He made some honeyed wine because why the fuck not? I tell him of some of the things I read here while we talk. He also had an interest in the occult, so we talk for a long time. At this point I haven't said a word of what has been happening at night while living alone, because I thought people will probably just dismiss it as paranoia. It is nighttime and I also didn't want to overstay my welcome, so I leave. As I walk the road that goes down the hill on foot, I can feel something is following me. I can feel it approaching bit by bit, so move a little bit faster, while also looking behind me every now and then to check if there is actually something there. Don't see anything, but I am not going to risk it. I don't want to sound crazy, but I know I will, so fuck it. You can choose on your own whether to believe me or not. Feel a hand reaching out to me from the back, grabbing me by the shoulder and turning me around. See absolutely nothing. That hand, or whatever you want to call it, felt like the most cold and uncomfortable thing I ever felt. I am stuck, frozen there for close to 1 minute. Felt like an hour though. I just walked towards home, completely broken. Didn't feel no fear, no cold, nothing at all. I was just completely broken. It is time to go back to UNI, so parents take me to the station. As I leave home I drop a charm that was given to me by my grandma. It's pike roll. Only find out about it after I boarded the bus. Be sad because I really love my grandma and I really appreciated the charm. Always took it with me when I was going out. After going to UNI again, don't see any shadows, don't feel anything in my room before sleeping. It was like nothing ever happened. Spring break comes. Go back to parents' home. Find the charm on the pavement outside the main gate of the house. MFW, nobody saw it, or picked it up from the ground for so long. Even though my house is in a central spot and many people pass by daily. Thanks for sharing, Anon. I believe you. Be me. Live in city close to the woods. One day go with Jim Bro on small game hunting trip that will take 3 weeks. Take tents and camping stuff. First days go by with no strange events. We kill and cook some beavers, fish and squirrels. All is good. Have some beers with local bears. Talk about life and stuff. Week 1 goes by uneventful. One of the bears is afraid of the dark, so we let him sleep close to the campfire. Jim Bro makes improvised squat rack and barbell out of wood and stone. Week 2 day 2 at about 7 p.m, be drinking last cans of beer and talking with bear friends about girls and political stuff. Two raccoons join in BCS. One of them is friend of Bursky brown fur. Share around some beaver meet with raccoons and bear brothers. Raccoon_1 shares story of deer's headed nigger that goes around forest stealing shit and raping does. Bearsky black fur interjects and explains that is the mythical Nigwalker. Me and Jim Bro listen carefully. Nigwalkers spawn formed the Nig dimension and smell of fried chicken. They were spawned by powerful Jumancers that summoned the Nigwalkers to torment the lives of real humans. OK.png. Sounds about right.exe. Suddenly, strong smell of copper and the forest goes quiet. A skinwalker appears from the bushes. Invite him to take seat around the campfire. Skinwalker seems sad with life. Bear Bro lines him up with some roasted beaver leg. Skinwalker explains life has been hard since the Nigwalkers invaded the forest. Feels bad.png. Jim Bro asks if he has seen any Nigwalkers. Skinwalker looks him in the eye. Asks to pass him a beer. BCS. This will be a long story. Out of nowhere a Bigfoot comes running in. Screams an unintelligible gibberish. Ask him for a selfie. Agrees. Takes selfie with Bigfoot. Continuation of my creepy childhood experiences. Previous thread here, 6/ Be me, 13 years old. Laying in bed. For a little context, there were two windows in my room, one directly in front of the foot of my bed and one on the left-hand side of the room when you enter. The front window had a huge hedge in front of it, blocking anyone on the street from looking in, which was perfect for the horny shit I was doing. Greater than had recently started exploring my body, and had gotten into a habit of using a Coke bottle and shaking the bed like a fucking bouncy castle. Be engaged in this heinous act, making weird-ass noises like a retard. Completely in my own world, able to ignore my dad's chainsaw snores from across the house. Lights coming through the front window. Screech.png. They fade out after a couple seconds. Probably just some fucking idiot trying to take a shortcut through a unsurprisingly dead-end cul-de-sac. Kick. Sit still in bed, blinking the spots from my eyes for a couple of moments. Go back to doing the solo dirty deed. Get immersed in what I'm doing again. The fucking headlights blind me again. The fuck? A little, no a lot, peeved at the moment. This halfwit interrupted me twice already because they didn't have the brain to know that this was a dead-end street. Angie. The light lingers by my window for much longer this time, for about a solid half minute. A little freaked out, set the Coke bottle aside as get out of bed. Peek out the front window through the blinds. Through the hedge, I can see that there are no cars on the street, not even in the neighboring driveways. The fuck X2. Everything is dead quiet. Can't even hear my dad snoring from across the house. No car noises. Not even the slightest bit of wind. The fuck X3. Finally hear something and pretty much jump out of my skin. It's a shuffling noise. SHF SHF, SHF, SHF SHF. Sounds like bare feet dragging across pavement. Be me, 7 or 9 years old at the time. In the living room watching TV. Here's someone going up the stairs behind me. Check to see who it was. No one is there. Footsteps continue up the stairs then continued around the rest of the second floor. Confused AF. Tells no one about it, because I thought if I did no one would believe me. Still hears footsteps all the time, only on the stairs and upstairs. Upstairs is always hot for some reason, AC doesn't seem to be broken, my dad even checked it several times cause of this. It's just really hot up there. Me and my parents barely go up there because of it. Alone upstairs one night, walking around talking to myself. Here's someone running up the stairs. Heart stops for a second. Checks to see who it is. No one is there. Swears I heard someone running up. Fucking no one there. Always seeing black figures in the corner of my eye. No one is ever there though. Feel a presence behind me or watching me at all times only when I'm upstairs, alone. I would always run down the stairs scared as shit for no reason. Something in the back of my head yelled at me. Run. Run fucking run, you aren't safe. I kept doing this. My parents found it really strange, didn't think anything of it. We had a dog, small crust-high white doodle. He would never go up the stairs willingly, always preferred being downstairs, and would always bark at the stairs. Scared shitless of behind left home alone, we'd always come home to a huge mess, things knocked over that he couldn't reach. One time, found him on the fucking kitchen counter. Dog went blind a few years into living there, perfectly healthy before. One day he just slowly started going blind. Once we moved, dog never acted up again, never barks without clear reason, never messes the house when left home alone. I feel like our dog going blind was a sign of a demonic presence. I'm not religious, but something was clearly wrong with the house. To this day, I don't know what it was, although I have some ideas. Post spooky green text. I'll start. Be me. College student, planning to go on backpacking trip with a friend in Appalachia. Let's call him Nick. Planned trip is only a 2-day, 18-mile hike. No big deal. Close to Christmas time, so we aren't expecting the trail to be busy on the stretch we are looking at. First night we are looking at staying in a hostel, second night we will be camping in tents at a campground. Our plan seemed pretty bulletproof. Packed my Ruger Wrangler in case we ran into some rabbits to cook. The stretch of the trail we planned on hiking was pretty rocky, so we made sure to have extra first aid supplies in case one of us sprained an ankle. Fast forward to Friday night, drive up. We get to the dirt lot outside of the stretch of the trail. It's around 8 p.m., so already dark, but the hostel we will be sleeping in for the night is only around 1 mile out. Get there at around 8:30. Took us around 10 minutes to get our stuff out of my car. Only people there, so we don't have to worry about being quiet. Shut the door behind us, rev up our camp stoves to make some tasty freeze-dried spaghetti. Yum.jpg. Head to bed at 10 p.m. as we will need rest for tomorrow's hike. Hostels on this stretch of the trail are basically cabins. They have steel doors, and this particular one had a skylight. To add to this, sleeping arrangements were wooden bunks, around 8 total in this hostel. There were 2 wooden tables for eating at nailed to the floor in the center of the room. We chose to sleep in the bunk directly across from the door, with me on the bottom bunk and Nick on the top. Wake up suddenly, still kinda half asleep. Check watch. 2:14 a.m. Skylight is covered, must have snowed. Snow wasn't on the forecast, kinda odd. But whatever, it's December in the Northeast, not that out of the question. About to go to sleep when I hear a light tapping on the steel door to the shelter. Tasty story. I'm a first-time poster here, so sorry for my story lacking details and depth, but I am genuinely really curious about the explanation of this, cause it's the only thing I've ever seen that took me back. Be me. 4 years ago. In my car on a lakeshore with an, at the time, current GF. Smoking weed, feeling eco-throw up in the front seats, looking at the cold night sky. After a few minutes, I notice she stopped playing with me even though I was still playing with her. Think she wants to go to the back seat. Look at her, her stare frozen looking at the sky. I look up. Terry's flying lights going from left to right, in a line, with the same light intensity as a star on a clear night sky. I stop touching my GF. We both just keep looking at the lights and going holy fuck, holy shit. Bicroll is kinda what it looked like. The lights were moving in approximately 25 to 30 seconds interval from appearing on the left to disappearing on the right. This went on for at least 5 minutes. Does anybody have an explanation for it? I think it sure as shit wasn't a military exercise, or whatever, that was in Croatia. We don't have that kind of military. Be me in about 2016. 22 years old. Friend invites me to snowmobile all weekend in northern Wisconsin. He has a cabin in the middle of nowhere. Have fun the first day. Out in the woods on a trail when my snowmobile stops. Ran out of gas like an idiot. Friend says he'll go get some and come back. Have to sit alone in the woods for about 45 minutes. No cell reception. Dark as shit. Nothing to do but stargaze. See a weird light. It's dancing. One light turns into three. They're doing a weird pattern with figure eights and shit. Take out phone to try to record it. All of a sudden stop in place for about 15 seconds. Zoom out of view. Buddy comes back. Did you see those weird lights? I didn't see anything anon. Might have been aliens. They were dancing for like 5 minutes straight. I just watched them for a bit before even thinking maybe I should try to record it. Didn't feel scared or anything, was just weird. Guess I'll contribute. Be me. Decide to go solo camping in Pennsylvania Appalachians BC. Why the fuck not? Middle of the summer, so pack relatively light. Just bring a light sleeping bag and a single-person tent in case it rains. Section I'm hiking on to get to my planned campsite isn't too bad, well marked, and even run into a few fellow hikers on the way there. Specifically meet this cool dude training to through hike the following year, let's name him Mark. Talks about how he was hiking a stretch going from southern New York to northern Maryland, just to practice the full PA part of the trail, as it's considered some of the hardest. Cool.jpg. After about 20 minutes of talking, I bid him farewell, as we are hiking in opposite directions. Get to my campsite around 7 p.m., around 15 miles from my starting point, where I left at 2 p.m., only person there. Kinda relieved as it means I have more space to make a fire and cook dinner. Mountain House beef stroganoff, yum. Pitch up my tent, make a fire pit, when suddenly I heard movement in a large raspberry bush just at the edge of the site. Assume it's a bear, and decide to go in my tent to not bother it, as I only have a .22 on me for varmint defense. About 10 minutes later I leave my tent, assuming the bear has left, as I no longer heard any movement in the tree line. Surprised to see my buddy from earlier at the site, just standing at the entrance near the trail marker. Hey, what brings you here? I thought we were going opposite directions? No reply, he just smiles at me with a huge stupid grin on his face. Odd, I thought, as there's no way he doesn't recognize me at this distance. About to ask him if he wants to join me for dinner, when I notice something off. He's not wearing his backpack. In fact, the only gear he has on besides clothes is his hat and boots. Decide to ignore him for now and make my dinner. As I eat my dinner, he finally moved and sits on a log to the opposite of the site from me, staring at the ground. Be me. Resent God's absence. Realize that everyone feels this way. Curiosity activated. Investigate this God fellow. Seems based. Identify with his every sentiment and proclamation. Today I will speak to the gods and petition for aid from Zeus. Angels singing to me for an entire day. A choir of angels incomprehensible and articulate beyond human expectation. The song that they sang and the visions they sent are the foundation of my faith and the beacon of hope for a tangible future. I now comprehend the true meaning of good. It is beyond my capability to convey the all-encompassing transfiguration of my being. Astral project and witness the moment of creation from a first-person perspective. Feel that my consciousness has expanded to encapsulate and permeate the whole cosmos. Speak directly to God, he tells me to accomplish everything I asked from him. Exact phrasing was "you do it." Now contractually obligated to God. My directive is the salvation of all souls and the destruction of evil. MFW. I accidentally talked to my deceased cousin about a year ago. Be me. Visiting my aunt in Southern California. They have me spend the night in the RV in the back with my sister and cousin. We start playing with tarot cards. It's summertime. It's going normally until we joke about talking to the dead. Cousin's funeral was happening the next day. We start trying to talk and the only things that come up in the cards are symbols of death and the towers. All of a sudden, the air around us gets cold and we hear whispering. Hello, I love you and creepy stuff like that. We all get quiet, and the sound of crickets stop abruptly as well. The whispers get louder. Sister starts getting really scared. We light a few candles and put the cards outside. Voice goes away. Stays cold. What do you all think happened?